Hey everyone, today we have the reigning sound quality champion, the Sennheiser Momentum 3, going head to head with the Sony WF-XM5s. We have 12 categories, there's gonna be one winner. Will Sony dethrone the sound champion? We're gonna find out because as usual here, we're going in depth. Now, category one is comfort. Keep in mind, fit is different for everyone. I have slightly larger ear and ear canals, but the win is just going to Sennheiser. The regular silicone ear tips just feel nicer in my ears, and these are a bud I can wear for over 3 hours straight with no issue. The XM5s I can still wear for long periods. It just feels like there's more in my ear canal with the foam tips that they use, and it's trickier to get a proper seal with them. I can use silicone ear tips on the XM5s, which does help with the comfort, but this will reduce the noise cancelling strength. And since the mesh is on the foam ear tips, not on the actual driver nozzle itself, you can start to see the XM5s are kind of designed around those foam ear tips. Next category is how secure the buds stay in. And with the XM5s, I have to fiddle around with the buds every time I put them in to get a proper seal. But once I do get a good seal, they stay in securely and I'm rarely having to readjust them, even when weight training. The Momentums have been my go-to training bud for the last year. They still don't fit me the best. I have to readjust them a little bit more often, but there's still no way they're gonna fall out. They do have wing tips, but my ears are too large that they don't really do anything. And if you like running, both pairs aren't great, but the Momentum 3 do have more body-borne noise when you make impact on the ground and hearing your own breathing. The XM5 still have a little bit, but it's not as bad. So overall win here, going to the XM5s. Now with the IPX rating, both have an IPX4 sweat and water resistant rating, so a tie for this round. With case and battery life, the Momentum have 7 hours with the earbuds, 28 hours in total. XM5, 6 hours from the buds, 24 hours in total. This is both with noise cancelling on. You do get better fast charge in the XM5, so chuck the buds in the case for 3 minutes, you get an hour's playback. With the Momentum, it takes 10 minutes for 1 hour's playback. XM5's over 3 times quicker. Both cases wirelessly charged, but the Momentum case is pretty massive, and with only 4 hours extra total battery. So in that case, the win here goes to Sony. When it comes to controls, both pairs have in-ear detection to automatically pause and play your music when you take one or both buds in and out of your ears. The Momentum 3 allow for full customization of each individual touch control function, except the volume control, which is stuck to the long hold. With the XM5, you can customize it, but you can't edit each individual function like you can on the Momentums. You can control volume with a quad tap. So if you want to increase your volume, you got to tap on the right earbud 4 times. And then if you want to decrease volume, you got to tap on the left earbud 4 times. The XM5 have a brand new feature called Gestures though. And this works when you receive a phone call. To answer the call, you just need to nod your head. To decline the call, you can just shake your head. So a pretty niche thing, but it's very cool to see. Still, overall, the Momentum get the win here. Now with connectivity on both pairs, you can use one earbud while you leave the other in the case. And when you are using one earbud, it will work in mono mode, so you hear both the left and right audio channel out of the one earbud. The XM5 have Bluetooth 5.3 as well as LDAC, LC3 and LE audio. LE standing for lower energy consumption. So on some newer Android phones, this is compatible, which should give you better battery life as well as lower latency when gaming. The Momentum use Bluetooth 5.2 and they do have aptX Adaptive, which does have high-res audio capabilities, which I haven't been able to test, but it seems like it does get pretty close to the quality that you get from LDAC. Both pairs also have multi-point connection, so you can have 2 devices connected to the earbuds at the same time. You just need to pause playback on one device before you resume it on the other. So super close here. I'm just going to give Sony the win with LDAC and the LC3 LE audio codecs. Bonus round here, not going to count because the scoring is with gaming latency. Here are the results I got in my test on both iOS and Android. So casual games, 400 milliseconds is fine. You want to get closer to 200 milliseconds if you're into faster reaction games like shooters. Now, when it comes to call quality, it's pretty close, but Sony is just going to be getting the win here. They block out noise a little bit better and sound a little bit clearer, but here are the samples so you can hear. All right, so starting the test here, recording the audio off my iPhone 12 Pro microphone so you get an idea of the noise going on around me. All right, so here is the call quality of the Sennheiser Momentum 3. They get 2 buses in the testing, so hopefully you can hear my voice well. All right, so here is the call quality of the Sony WF-1000XM5s. Testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, next category is app customization. The Momentum 3 have the better control customization, the best sound personalization, as well as a sound zones feature similar to Sony's adaptive sound control, which will automatically adjust your noise canceling, EQ, transparency settings dependent on the locations that you visit, if you're walking, if you're running. The XM5s also have a great EQ, app integration with Spotify. They have speak to chat, which will automatically turn your noise cancelling off and turn your transparency on when you start speaking. So Sony have slightly better features there, but it's pretty close. That sound personalization is going to be pretty big when we talk about the sound later, so I'm giving this round a tie. This is a pretty close battle right now. And if you're enjoying this video, please chuck a like down there because it really does help the video and the channel out. Now, the next category is noise cancelling and how I test my noise cancelling. I chuck on my soundbar and I'm playing simulation plain noise, as well as crowd noise. So I'm getting low frequency sounds, as well as more inconsistent middle and high frequency sounds. And overall, the noise cancelling is about 10% stronger on the XM5s. Here's my overall ANC ranking with all the earbuds that I have tested. You can see the XM5s in the 3rd spot there, Sennheiser in the tied 5th spot. And an issue with the Momentum noise cancelling is with wind noise. The microphones pick up the wind noise really easily, so they do have a wind noise reduction mode you can turn on in the app, but this is going to bring your noise cancelling strength down by about 50%. Where on the XM5s, they have a mesh covering on the microphone, so it still lets in a bit of wind noise, but nowhere near the amount that the Momentum do. The Momentums are one of the worst when it comes to wind noise, since the placement of the microphone is kind of on the front of the earbud, so when you are walking, even slowly, a bit of wind gets picked up. So overall, noise cancelling, easy win for Sony. With the transparency mode, it is a lot closer here. Both transparency modes are great. The Momentums have slightly better clarity, but they do have more occlusion. So this is when you're speaking and you hear your own voice. It's kind of that echo, reverb kind of sound you hear when you are speaking. The XM5s have a lot less, and they also have slightly less white noise, still only noticeable when you're in a quiet room. So overall, Sony gets the win. Now, when it comes to volume, both pairs are easily loud enough, but the Momentum 3 go about 1 click louder, and they also retain a lot more bass at those high volumes. They also sound slightly better at lower volumes on the first 2-3 clicks. They have a little bit more bass and treble, since naturally we hear less bass and treble at those lower volumes, but the XM5s still sound fine. But the Momentum win this round. And now onto the final round, the most important part, and that is sound quality. The XM5s give you a balanced but slightly bass boosted tuning. Mids and upper mids are perfect, so you get great vocal clarity without sounding forced. Crisp treble that doesn't get harsh. A bit of sub bass rumble and a nice open soundstage. My only complaint is a slight emphasis on mid bass over sub bass, but they still sound great. The Momentums give you more of that deep sub bass rumble, even nicer treble. It's just the mids and upper mids that give the XM5s better separation and overall clarity. Now, Sony would get the win here, but we're going to take into account the EQ customization and the sound personalization. Because the Sony app gives you great freedom with the EQ, and you can get them sounding more balanced or more bass boosted. The only issue with the XM5s is when you start to bass boost the buds in the EQ, the closer you get to 100% volume, the bass is going to start to reduce a lot more noticeably than on the stock EQ. Now, the Momentums also have just as good EQ customization, but it is a sound personalization that takes the sound to new heights. It's a simple choose your favorite sound test, but it enhances the sound well past what you can do with the built-in EQ. It brings out a fuller bass response, better treble clarity, and the most noticeable difference is the more open soundstage. And you can further tailor that sound personalization to what sounds best for you. And out of all the earbuds that I have tested that have sound personalization, this makes the most dramatic change. And unlike the XM5s, if you start to bass boost these buds with that sound personalization or in the regular EQ, the Momentums retain pretty much all of that bass all the way to 100% volume. So you can push out some ridiculous over-the-top subwoofer bass and you can almost retain all of it to 100%. They sound incredibly crazy if you want to just chuck out a lot of bass at high volumes. The best out of any earbud I've ever tested. So with the sound personalization in mind, I'm giving Sennheiser the win for sound quality. That just isn't enough for Sennheiser to take the win. The overall winner today are the XM5s with 8 points to 6. So the Momentums are still the sound king, but the XM5s are better overall. But let me know what features matter the most to you. Purchase links are down below if you want to grab either pair, and be sure to check out my playlist with all my XM5 videos right here. I have heaps of comparisons, so check that out. In the meantime, stay picky. I'll see you in the next one. Bye now.